Everybody, welcome to my channel, Be Free Now with Maria. So today I'm going to start out with this deck, the Untethered Soul. And I shuffled the deck. I'm going to choose the card on top. The back of it says Going Beyond. And the card says, the spiritual journey is one of constant transformation. To grow, you must give up the struggle to remain the same and learn to embrace change at all times. Love that. Makes me think it's right. We got to do things differently. And if we want to have different results, we got to do things differently. And if we want to expand, we want to step out of our five senses, right? And into a more soul level experience, because when we seek, right, a transformation and limit ourselves by just tuning in to what's happening in the external world, we're going to lose our way. Right? We're going to get caught up in the noise. We're going to get caught up in all of the experiences and our thoughts, which are constantly going and not necessarily working in our favor, right? We are allowing ourselves, right, to get lost in the physical world, and we're going to lose our way, right? So when we pull back from that, right, and change directions, we're opening ourselves up, right, to something more expansive, as opposed to just the usual thoughts, the usual way of thinking and seeing the world, right? We open ourselves up to questioning what we're experiencing and incorporating a more broader, right, perspective when we're looking at things through a spiritual lens. You know, it even allows us to shift from feeling sorry for ourselves to taking the situation and learning from it. And when I mean learning, right, is that we are experiencing emotions and having all of these beliefs come up for us when we're in the middle of things or experiencing things, especially the things that we don't like, right? Those are the areas where we're going to find ourselves feeling more challenged. And when we change the way we're doing things, right, we're going to give ourselves the opportunity to learn or to perceive life through different lens. You know, when I say learn, right, we're going to learn some stuff, but not just learning what's already out there, but it's how we're seeing the world, right? How we're perceiving it, how we're perceiving the experience, how we're perceiving ourselves. And then that allows us, right, to open up into something more expansive, as opposed to, this is how it's always been, this is the way it's always going to be, this is the way I've always seen myself, then this is the way I must be. Well, no, there's other aspects to us. So we don't want to limit ourselves as to just looking ourselves through one set of lens, especially ones that have been colored with a lot of shadow experiences. You know, in other words, people's pain and our pain. It's the part of us, right, that is always going to look at things through negative lens or through hopelessness, or end up feeling hopeless because it gets so entangled in the story that then we're not able to, right, see that, no, we're more than just our physical bodies. We're more than just this experience, and we're more than just our actions, right? Our actions are an expression of our fears sometimes, or our joy. It depends on what's leading us, right? What's the predominant feeling for us, and that's going to guide, you know, our actions, right? We're going to have these thoughts, and then it's, you know, we're going to do certain things, right? We're going to feel a certain way, and then we're going to do things a certain way. And it's not necessarily happening independent of us. It's kind of happening without us paying attention. If we're not paying attention, right, then it's happening unconsciously. And we wouldn't really want to let, right, that part of us, or like we wouldn't give the keys to our car to a 5-year-old. So we don't really want to give, right, that power to that unconscious part of us, right? We want to connect with that unconscious part of us, get to understand it, and make any changes to it that need to be made so that we're walking along the path that is bringing us more joy and closer to the things that we want, and allowing us to change on a deeper level. It's like, but when I'm also thinking of changing, it's almost more like evolving, into something more than just our current thoughts, our current fears, and our limited thinking that only can give us but so much joy anyway, right? Because if we have all of this fear, then we're going to close the door to all of this joy, and we're only going to allow ourselves to only have a little good, because if we have a lot of worries, then a little good, right, a little joy and so forth is what we're going to be able to produce. So we want to be mindful of that. And there was something else. It says, to grow, you must give up the struggle to remain the same and learn to embrace change at all times. Now, change is happening with or without our consent. It's just how we want to do it. It's not like, oh, if I stay the same, change isn't going to happen. Change is going to happen regardless. It's how do I want that change to happen? And do I want to be a part of it, consciously be a part of it? And that means that, yes, we must give up the struggle to remain the same. The resistance is creating an issue for us, not helping us. So, when we resist, we think like somehow we have some power or control over the situation. But in reality, what we're doing is burdening ourselves some more, piling it on and making it heavier for ourselves. So we want to release that resistance, right, by being more open, right, to that small, still voice, being more open, right, to how we see ourselves, and welcoming, right, a broader perspective and something that we can use to connect with our soul, to return back to our soul, to bridge, to come together, as opposed to living as we're separate, because we're not. My personal belief is that spirit lives and breathes through us, and we want to incorporate that, because when we do, we are able to make a shift and not stay in a stagnant belief that isn't supporting us or uplifting us in any way. So again, that's my personal belief, but and you're welcome to choose, right, and what you want to believe, but you definitely want to look at what you are thinking about, what you are believing, and how it's affecting you, and how things are being created from it. Because I'm thinking we're casting spells with our words, right? But we're also creating with our thoughts, and that's a lot of power that we want to channel, right, in the right direction. In other words, we want to move it when I say the right direction, in the direction that uplifts us, in a direction that expands us and uplifts us, not that keeps us imprisoned in this space of yuckiness and limiting ourselves, as we go along through that process. Expansiveness, openness is where, we want to shift ourselves to, because there is where we're going to see our growth. And growth is ultimately, right, the conscious change that brings us closer to where we really want to be. So I'm going to end with that. I hope that this video helps you in some way. If it did, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. And if you want to find out more about the work that I'm doing, you can visit my website, and all the information is in the description down below. All right, have a beautiful day. Bye for now.